And that's an observation, the role of financial partners, but we don't have that. This will interest you greatly. The managers who I've hired became entrepreneurs. Look at them. Jan Alberts up there worked for me for 12 years, never went to school. He's today a billionaire. He runs his own company. He's 74. He said, Bert, goodbye. I've learned a lot. I'm starting on my own. So, and even some of my sons, Bob and John, I had a big fight with them. We split up, and today we are friends again. I don't know whether I believe in family business, but I was in my seat much too long. Mark in China, I fired him because he was earning 100 times as much as a Chinese engineer. I helped him 3 months Harvard, and then he got a job in Hong Kong, and he's now printing millions, I guess. So each one of them is a story. But I've always hired candidates who are managers but had a very independent entrepreneurial talent. And I don't own a manager, so if he wants to leave under reasonable terms, fine. I even cash in his stock options. So if you look for a company where you want to work, because at the age of 22, I don't recommend you to become an entrepreneur straight away. First get your feet wet in a real life environment. And then when you think through how you're going to handle it, the question is, my company is called Indiverse, it's a school for entrepreneurs. Now, failures and risk. These are my failures, and Harvard said, Bert, you have to expand this, you have to make a case study out of it, because as you can see, a lot of it has to do with culture. You know, when I sent an Australian to Italy to run my company, I should have had an Italian, of course, because the Italians have 3 books. One for the tax authorities, one for himself, and one for the owner, Bert. And, you know, and in China, you have a manager who's in charge, of the organization, but then you have a communist fellow who's in charge of paying the checks, which I never knew for quite some time. Even though with our Chinese startup, we sent 4 people for design to Eindhoven because they know all about this inspection robot stuff. We sent 3 to Detroit, and we sent some to Dallas. What I should have done, big mistake, I should have sent a dozen Chinese to my Singapore factory because of the language and the culture. But today, I sold the company after firing Mark. I sold the company. It was sold by a Swiss guy from St. Gallen, by the way, Roger Kolbrunner, or he went to India. And Roger sold it for me, stayed in China for half a year. I sold it for $4 million, sales were 2, and 6 years later, sales are $60 million. How about missing the boat?